What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with that quick analysis. We're going to talk about the Detroit Pistons as they start in a new era under Cade Cunningham, their first overall selection. We're going to talk about what him and Dwayne Casey can do with this organization and the team and the talent that they have been able to put together this year. Saddiq Bey, 22-year-old, 6'8". I liked him coming into the draft because he was a guy that could be a glue guy. The biggest question with Saddiq was his three-point shooting. Never really became a great or amazing three-point shooting, but became respectable. But we liked his size and his versatility. That translated at the NBA level as he did show some type of shot-making ability, showed the ability to be in the right spots, rebound, play the right positions, whether it's the 4 or the 3, be switchable, and even come off the bench and just give you that ability to go small. Saddiq Bey was a guy that was a glue guy, and we feel like he can fit and play a lot of roles. Showed that as a rookie. Still want to see his offensive game transform a little bit more and just continue improvement on his three-point shooting and mid-range shooting. Then he can become probably a starter in this league, especially in the future. When I look at Hamado Diallo, he's interesting. Not really high on him. He's an athlete, switchable, not an ideal 3 and D guy just because he's not a great three-point shooter. He's definitely going to have to develop that if he wants to be a longevity guy in this league. And he just has to find an identity when it comes to being an offensive player. He's still a little rough, a little tough, a little raw. 23 years old, still got time to figure it out. We'll see what he really becomes in the future, but he has a good chance to do something decent this year with the Pistons, as they do lack a lot of guard depth to me at that position, so he'll definitely get minutes. Luka Garza really put on performances in Summer League. Not a great defender, not the greatest offensive player. We'll see what he becomes in the league. As, he played against Summer League competition. He's going to play against starters, real athletes, real big bodies, and he's only 235 pounds and not a legitimate 7-footer. It's going to take time and patience to see what his role and what his game will be at at the NBA level. But he's only a rookie, so give him some time and we'll see what he becomes. But he is a good pickup for them just because they needed another big, and he has potential and he has some skills already. We'll see what he becomes 2 to 3 years from now for the Pistons if he's on his roster. Killian Hayes is raw. I didn't like him going into the draft just because he showed a lot of things but never was great at anything or elite at anything. Plus, he wasn't a great scorer either. His defense has been solid, but you need to be more than that if you can't score at all. And that's a struggle with Killian Hayes to see what he's really going to be in the league. If you can't become a great passer, playmaker, or scorer, or shooter, what are you really going to do on the offensive end or even on the court besides defend? His 6'5" frame allows him to play combo guard defensively and offensively, which gives him versatility on that end. We still gonna see what he becomes. He's only 20, and he really was injured a lot, so we couldn't really get a lot of glimpses of what he can become. And we'll just see what he is 2 to 3 years from now for this Pistons team. But this year, I'm not expecting huge improvements offensively, but at least show some signs that he can do more on the court than what he showed the last 2 years, 1 year out and 1 year in the NBA, and just hopefully he can stay healthy. Frank Jackson is an interesting guy. I don't really see him being a huge player for this team. They're going to need him, though, to give them some generalship and just give them some type of punch offensively outside of Killian Hayes, who's really not a great offensive player right now. So that gives Jackson a chance to come in and give you some of that. He's still not a great scorer either, but he's young and he just started his NBA career. Maybe more minutes and more chances can help him develop into something decent as a backup point guard in this league. Josh Jackson was raw coming into the NBA, and his defense didn't translate. He still plays hard when it comes to trying to score the ball. Hasn't been able to get that perimeter shot. Hasn't really been able to get that three-point shot. It hasn't even become a great finisher at the NBA level, and that really caused him to become a guy that's been bouncing around, a guy that had the size and the potential and the athleticism, but never really could get the IQ, never could really get the defense to translate, and never really became anything great offensively. He shows flashes of signs of being something, but never was able to put it all together. Ultimately, we'll see with his mentality and his team changing again. Can he put some things together and show more consistent areas of improvement, I guess? Because he hasn't really shown that to me in his NBA career. But we'll see what he does this year for the Pistons. Corey Joseph is a point guard. He's just going to give them a veteran that can shoot a little bit, give you pesky defense, and can really run the offense by playing pace, controlling the pace, and just hitting timely shots. And he's not going to be a huge scorer for them, but just gives them another option at that point guard position. And that's just something that they definitely need when it comes to talent. Saban Lee, don't see him getting huge amount of playing time on this roster because they have other guys that are better than him that was going to warrant the time. So expect him to come in when injuries happen or a trade happens and they need somebody to fill those minutes. That's the only way I can see him playing big minutes. Same with Livers. I don't really see him playing huge minutes for this team. And if he does, it's not going to be a huge impact. But they're trying to build him up from years. So they're going to give him some type of experience. But it's not going to be significant. Trey Lyles has bounced around the league too because he hasn't become a great stretch four. He's a guy that has the potential to be one but hasn't put it all together yet. And I like his switchability, but his defense isn't great either. So he still has just been a rotation player in the league so far. And I just see that continuing, especially if his three-point shot never develops into great to elite status. And if he just can be solid at it and still be mobile, he's going to stay in the league for a couple more years. But we'll see what he becomes after that. Roddy Mcgregor has been criticized in the past, but he has just been a guard that gives you mobility, gives you a little bit of switchability. Hasn't really became a great scorer or playmaker or anything significant. Just been a guy that's solid in areas, not great in any areas. And that's a reason why he couldn't find a home or a significant role in the league. And that's why he's in the position that he's in now. Kelly Olynyk has been great for a lot of teams as a guy that can really put up numbers. He can rebound. He can hit mismatches by posting up, right hook, shoot over the top. Good floor spacer at that center position, power forward position. Can really hit threes, can really hit mid-range, can come off screens, and can also set screens to get guys open and first steps to be able to get to the basket or play in the pick and roll. A good pick and roll partner gives them space, gives them shooting, and that's why they brought him to the table. And I can see him having a great season for them, and it does make sense why they got him. Pickett and Chris Smith, we'll see if they make the rosters and what their role will be on this team. Don't see anything significant out of them. Isaiah Stewart, just undersized center, but he can really understand what his game is and impact the game that way. Setting screens, getting into the paint, hitting push shots, putting a lot of effort and energy. They needed somebody like that, and they picked him up, and he was really a solid rotation player right out the gate. And we'll see what he adds and does when it comes to development this season. But he definitely will be a rotation player. He definitely will get a lot of time. It was really solid for them last year. And then the last two people we're going to really talk about is Cade Cunningham, the guy that I would definitely pick to be the rookie of the year for this team. This guy gives them a lot of stuff that they needed. Floor spacing at the wing position. This guy can hit threes. He's big enough to play multiple positions. Has been a solid defender. We'll see if that translates. Has been a great playmaker for his position, being able to play in the pick and roll, being able to make quick decisions off the ball, or even when he grabs the ball, he can make a three, hit a mid-range, put the ball on the floor, hit a layup, and also just make the right play and decision. His IQ is very high for a rookie. That's why I expect his impact to be high across the board. Solid rebounder too, and a guy that can hit big shots, a guy that can come through for you. Still has to see how athleticism will translate, how shot creation will be. Efficiency could be a problem. Same with defense, as he is a rookie. He's going to have mistakes. He's not going to play perfect, and he's going to have games where his shot just not falling. It's part of the game. Even some of the greatest and best players have went through it as a rookie. It's just about learning from it, growing from it, putting in the work so it don't happen as much, and then perfecting your game, adding counters, and adding moves that works against every defender, not just one. and just being more prepared each time you go out there, and it just become repetition every single season. They needed somebody that can do these things outside of Jeremy Grant, who has been their best player, and I don't see that changing this year. Really had a breakout season for his career, wanted to go to a different environment, different role, and he produced. Was able to score 20 points per game, was able to show improved shot creation, still was able to hit threes, still was able to defend, be switchable, and play multiple positions, show rebounding, and show the ability to get to the rim. Really needs to work on his shot creation and his playmaking ability if he wants to take his game to an all-star level. He has more space and he has a little bit more talent than what he had last year. Still don't expect this team to be great or win a lot of games just because they have a lot of lack of talent. They have more spacing and more shooting, but the East has gotten significantly better, and it's going to be harder to beat those teams. Dwayne Casey do have a better roster. He grinded out with the ugly, still stayed with his team. They made a couple of adjustments, got more guys to develop, got more guys with potential, and even if they do hit the lottery again, which I think they will, at least they will be able to add another piece alongside what they're trying to build and, contend for a playoff spot in the future. But ultimately, I like where this team is going. I like a lot of the pieces that they have, and they need a couple more to fill out this roster to really become something decent. And the NBA and Cade development will be special for this team because they actually have a guy that can impact the game in multiple areas while also giving them playmaking and scoring, and a guy that can get his own shot outside of Jeremy Grant, which is something that they really lacked when it comes to creation and spacing, and they fixed a lot of those problems this year. They just don't have enough to really be competitive compared to the other teams in the East, and the East is just getting deeper and deeper. This team has improved, but other teams have even got better or stayed better than them just because they was already there, and they're trying to take those spots. But they're going to need a little bit more talent and a little bit more help, especially at the guard positions and the center positions, if they really want to take their talent back to the playoffs and potential championship. But they're building something special here. They're building something fun. They're actually building something you can believe in. And a lot of it does have to do with Cade if he can stay healthy. They're going to ask for him to do a lot. They're going to demand him to do a lot. But that's just going to help and build him into something special if he develops the right way. And that's what they will need for this franchise. So we'll see if Cade can bring a championship back to Detroit. It's been a long time since they've been in the finals. It's been a long time since they have won one. We'll see if he's able to answer the bell and become the franchise savior for this organization. I got faith in you. I love you. Got respect for you. And I really enjoy watching your game. It's going to be beautiful to see you play at the highest level against the biggest and best competition. It's going to push you. It's going to hurt you. It's going to make you strive for greatness. But that's what made you the number one pick in high school. That's why you was the number one pick in college. You got to do it again at the highest level. And I'm supporting you. I'm rooting for you. And I'm picking you for my Rookie of the Year. Your knowledge and understanding for the game, the way you play the game, is just smart and correct. But it's going to be a learning curve at this level. And that's why your rookie year ain't going to be your best year. But that's why you build upon it and have better ones. Good luck to the Pistons. Good luck to Cade. Do y'all thing. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out. See y'all tomorrow.